So you want to watch figure skating, but you can't differentiate between jumps? This video is going to help you with that. One single figure skating jump is performed when a skater takes off the ice and does at least one full rotation in the air before landing. All the jumps in figure skating take off from the back and land on the back, except for the axel jump. So let's start with the axel jump, named after the Norwegian figure skater Axel Poulsen, who created it. The axel jump is the easiest to tell apart from all other jumps because it is the only jump that takes off from the front and lands on the back. So a single axel jump is actually a rotation and a half in the air. That's why it's harder to perform than all other jumps. Skaters usually do a double axel, which means 2.5 rotations in the air, or a triple axel, which means 3.5 rotations in the air. A quadruple axel hasn't yet been tried in an official ISU competition. As for the 5 other jumps, you have the salchow, the loop, the flip, the lutz, and the toe loop. And we're going to divide them into 2 categories: edge jumps and toe jumps. Salchow and loop are edge jumps. Here you can see them side by side. The difference between them is on which leg the skater takes off. The salchow takes off on the left leg, while the loop takes off on the right leg. Salchow is the easiest jump in figure skating and one that skaters usually learn first. It's named after its inventor Ulrich Salchow, a Danish figure skater. The salchow uses the free leg to help with the takeoff, and then the legs cross once the skater's in the air. Meanwhile, in a loop jump, the legs are already crossed while the skater is still on ice. That's the easiest way to tell them apart. The salchow and the loop are edge jumps because they don't use the toe pick of the free leg to help with the takeoff. The jumps that do use the toe pick to help with the takeoff are called toe jumps: the toe loop, the flip, and the lutz. Between those 3, the toe loop is the easiest to tell apart because it takes off on the right leg and uses the left leg's toe pick to help take off. The flip and the lutz are also toe jumps. The difference between them and the toe loop is that they take off on the left leg and use the right leg's toe pick to help with the takeoff. Now, the difference between the flip and the lutz is small but big in the figure skating world. Here are flip and lutz side by side. They both take off on the left leg, but the key difference is the edge on which the skater takes off. The flip takes off on the inside edge, while the lutz takes off on the outside edge of the blade. In case you didn't know, the blades on ice skates aren't flat, they are curved, so all jumps take off on one of the edges. The lutz is named after the Austrian figure skater Eloise Lutz, and it is the second most difficult jump in figure skating after the axel. Here's how jumps are graded based on the number of rotations a skater does in the air. As you can see, the axel is valued the most out of all jumps. Keep in mind, everything I just said about the left leg and the right leg is the opposite for skaters who skate clockwise, because they have the opposite dominant side. Most skaters jump counterclockwise because their right leg is their dominant leg, and they land all of their jumps on their dominant leg. So, for example, this is Caitlin Osmond about to do a left leg in the air, about to use the toe pick, so a toe loop. Wrong, it's actually a flip because her dominant leg is her left leg, so she does everything opposite.